Hello boys, this is White Pill Media and welcome back to the channel. First off, I want to apologize for the lack of uploads lately. I am working on stuff. These trough videos, they take a while to make, like 6 weeks or so. I'm about halfway through with like the books I want to have done for the next trough. So maybe 3-4 weeks until that. In terms of media reviews, you can check my community post, but I watched like a couple of movies, started a TV show. None of them I really want to do a video on. I guess I could have done like a roundup video, but I wanted to have some video game content for the channel just to switch things up. I did try a game earlier. It was called Hotel Dusk. I played it on a DS emulator. It's kind of like a visual novel, noir thing. It's kind of had a good style, right? But unfortunately, it was like one of those games where instead of just being like a visual novel, you read text, you get a little story. And this did seem like a shorter game. I gave up after maybe 2-3 hours because like every little action that you had to take, it was painstaking. Like to open the door, you have to like click on the door, and then you have to click on the doorknob to turn the doorknob to open the door, and it's like, click on the suitcase. Now click on the suitcase latch. Now click that. So it opens the suitcase. It was tedium. So I gave up on Hotel Dusk. I looked up the story afterwards. It didn't feel very good. I think the Japanese have like some good ideas and some concepts, but I think in terms of writing, they're way overhyped. So that was a no for me. Okay, so today I'm going to be covering Omni Blade. But Omni Blade, it's a small indie game made by people on this side of things. One of the guys that worked on it worked on The Great Rebellion as well, so I wanted to check it out. It's a RPG. You are a fighter named Jin. You are in this, and you're in this frozen tundra, and you're outside this ancient demon tomb. I think it's the Tomb of the Six Demons, and you're there seeking treasure. Do I recommend Omni Blade? No, I do not. I feel pretty strongly about this being a non-recommendation, which is a disappointment because I do like to, just recommend things, but I also like to be very honest. And even though I would really like to, support a game and tell other people to buy it because it's made by guys on this side of things, my thoughts are no, I don't think this is worth your time. And I will also apologize because I don't really have a lot of footage for Omni Blade. I used this one recording software. It works just perfectly fine for a lot of games, but for Omni Blade, it just wasn't recording. And I didn't realize that at first, so that really, really sucked. Like, I have all the audio of it, but it's just a frozen screen. I don't know what the deal is with that. Sons of the Forest and other games, it's like, it's perfect. It just captures the entire screen. There's no problem. But I'm trying out this OBS software, and I was able to record some footage with this OBS. However, it was kind of off-center. So it's not the best footage, but it's some footage, and it gives you a general idea of what the game looks like. You can also look at it on the Steam Workshop. I think the game's just too slow. It's too tedious, and I do understand it's a small studio. It's a small team. There's just not a lot of variety. It's I think you can get away with basic and simple gameplay, but it would have to be a short game, a much shorter game. And this felt like it was really kind of dragged out. I did not finish the game. I got about 6-7 hours in, and I decided I had enough. I was not having fun, and I just didn't want to force it. And right now I'm just in the middle of a really big project that will maybe be done in a few months, hopefully, reading and doing other stuff. So a 20-hour game, which I think that's an estimate for how long it would take you to beat the game. It's just not really worth it to me. If I'm not having fun 6 hours in, I'm not gonna have fun 18 hours in. Some of my main problems: the text speed is bothersome. It's very slow. You have to click through all of it. If you accidentally click on a guy again after you've heard all of his dialogue, it goes through all of the dialogue again. There's no way to skip text you've already seen or anything like that. I hated that. There is no run button from what I can tell, so you are walking at a relatively slow pace. around the entire map. Now, your camp is set in like this frozen tundra and like it looks good. I did like some of the music, like when you're walking around outside, like it's cool. Like it has a nice atmosphere. You have all these little camps set around. You have two merchants over on the left. Then you have a bunch of tents and you can like hire these people to join your party. Everyone wants $200 to join you. This scales, I think, to a ridiculous degree. And there's also like this weird skeleton man in one of the tents, and he gives you some lore and shit. And then I came back later and he was gone, but there's like a silver ring in his tent, so that was kind of cool. But you go inside, you are in like this ancient tomb demon thing. You're looking for treasure. You enter this floor. It kind of looks like this really like nice manor castle thing, and you have this little mini map over in your top left. And this has like little enemy icons, and you're just walking around the map. The longer you spend on a floor, enemies start to like chase after you. And if they touch you on the mini map, then you have a battle. Battles are simple. You have 4 moves. Some moves can hit like a bunch of enemies in a row, like diagonally, vertically, that type of thing. Your basic guy is just like a warrior. There aren't really any abilities outside of that. When you level up, you can't like put points into certain things. Like I want to focus only on strength. You can't do that. It just automatically disperses like skill points or whatever. If you do die, and oh boy, I did die quite a bit. If you die on a floor, you lose all progress. It just like ends the game. You go back to the title screen. So if you haven't so even if you've done like a bunch of battles and almost cleared a floor and you die, it doesn't matter. You have to do the entire floor again. Now, does that take like a ton of time? No. It's maybe 5-10 minutes. But is it incredibly frustrating? Yes, because the battles are so simple and basic and you're just doing them over and over again. Another problem is like, so the first area you go into, it has like, you clear a floor, you fight like a mini boss, right? And then you get a little portal thing, and then you go to the next floor, and then you clear that. You clear it by like you unlock treasures, and then you also unlock cutscenes. And so for the first area, which is like this castle thing, you meet this ghost woman. She kind of seemed to resemble a woman from outside. I don't know if that's just because like the sprites look similar. So I didn't finish it, so I don't know all of the lore. I don't know if like we're all dead because this is like the Tomb of 6 Demons, and there's like 6 of us outside because you can get 5 companions and then yourself. So I don't know. But this ghost bitch, she's talking about being like a servant to what? Like a queen. There's like a jester guy. You beat him. You beat like a few people. And like the story seems like fine. It's just kind of slow. And then I go and hire my first companion. I don't know if I picked the right one or not. It's this one where it's like she kind of looks like she's showing some cleavage in her sprite portrait. So I'm like, yeah. And she's like, do you desire my dark power? And I'm like, yes, I do, dark titty girl. So I basically get dark magician girl. Oh, but your companions do scale. So I bought the first one for $200, and the next one's $1,000, and it's like 25, and then 5,000, and then I think the last one's 10,000. So it fucking sucks because getting money is kind of hard in this game, at least at first. It's such a fucking grind. So let's say you take a lot of damage on the floor, right? And you're trying to make your way to the portal to get off that floor and then go back into the cave. Well, there is no run option. There is no flee option. So if you're low on health and you're out of healing items and you know like an enemy's going to ambush you before you can make it to the portal, that's it. That's the game. You know, you don't even have like an option to like try to flee. 50% chance of succeeding. You failed, and then you lose, right? That would be something, but there's 0 option to flee. It just kind of sucks, right? And if you do want to heal, you have to run all the way out from the floor you are to the start of the cave, because at the start of the cave is the one singular save point and the one singular health restoration point. That's it. That's all there fucking is in this fucking game, is one save point, one heal point. I cleared like 3 levels, and that's it. I have no idea why it's that way, because after I cleared like the first castle level, you would think that would open up like a new save point so you didn't have to run back to the start of the fucking cave every time. It doesn't. It didn't. And it's like, there's no reason why you couldn't have just put in a new save point. It's just really, I don't know why the developers did this, right? And especially because you don't have a run op, so you have to walk down there every time. And it's like the ghost lady from the castle level, she's like poisoning her master to take her place or something. I was doing like all right. It just sucks. It's like if you're like kind of running through and you're clearing a bunch of levels and you're almost out of there, right? You're about to go heal because you're low on health now. You get ambushed. It's a fucking game over. And then you have to just start from the save point again, right? Because you have to go to the title screen. Then you have to load game. You're back at that save point. And then you have to walk all the way back up there, do it all again, and just hope you get slightly better RNG. Or you have to bow out earlier to heal more, and you just waste like 2 minutes. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it would be like, I guess a comparison I could make is like Pokemon or whatever. Like you have the Pokemon Center where you can like heal and everything after you go out and like fight enemies for a while. But it would be like if you had like a really long map and there's only one Pokemon Center, and to get to, and you don't have a bike and you don't have running shoes, and every time you want to heal your Pokemon, yes, you can buy items. Like you can buy herbs and healing items outside from those merchants, but it's also just kind of a hassle to walk all the way over to them as well. And you can't purchase more than one item at once. So you have to like buy a green herb. Yes, click. Yes, click. Yes, click. I can't buy like 50 at once. I can't buy 20 at once. Anything would be better than that. I don't know why these guys can't have like a portal near them, so then it's just super convenient for you. Or have merchants like go into the cave with you and they have their little area set up. Just something. Speed it up. Apparently the ghost woman was in love with someone called Locke. He was like killed in a war. I don't really care. I don't know if my character was speaking, but they said something like, I witnessed these events, but in my time I'm frozen. So maybe we are demons or something. Killed a spider lady. I don't have footage of any of this. I'm really sorry. Ghost let demons crawl through her for revenge. The woman's soul goes away. So I kind of think maybe the 6 of us are the 6 demons. I don't know. But after all this, you then have the forest area. And in the forest area, you also don't get a save point. And you also don't get a health point. Despite being a completely new area, you don't get these things. So you have the joy of walking back to the start of the cave every time you want to heal. And you want to heal like a decent amount of time, it really just slows down the game. So in this forest area, there's some ghost guy. He wants to like keep living. He thinks his heirs aren't worthy. I do like the transition when you're walking through the cave to the forest area and then like slowly turns into a forest from a cave. That was kind of cool. I did get wiped at one point when I almost beat a whole level of the forest. I was like very close. And then I was retreating to go heal because you have to walk all the way to the start of the cave. And yeah, I got killed right at the end. So that was super fun. So I get to play the same level that I just beat again. And since you have like such basic moves and attacks, it just kind of grinds down. You know what I mean? Like, again, I know this is a small team. I know this is a small developer. Pokemon comparison. I know that's like a bigger studio or whatever. But like, if you had Pokemon and you couldn't evolve them, and they only had 4 moves, and they couldn't learn any other moves. There was enemy variety, but your people never, like, changed. It would get a little boring, like, pretty quick. And that's kind of how this felt. The store page looks cool. I'll have some screenshots of that. There's, like, a dragon, and it kind of looks like the future, and, like, all that stuff looks fun. I never got to any of that. I got to, like, the 3rd level, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm like 6-7 hours in. I've had enough. I'm probably really shitty at this game, but I am not having fun, and I don't care. I did feel like bad and like guilty because it was like an indie game and it's like this side of things, but holy shit, I wasn't having a good time. I ended up unlocking like 3 of the companions. I think there was one more I didn't get. I do think it is a little like BS where like you click on a guy and they give you some dialogue, but they don't say like exactly what their powers are. They don't say exactly what their moveset is, which I kind of wish that they did, because I bought like a conjurer chick and I'm like, oh, you fucking suck, because I like had picked up some bows in the dungeon and I'm like, okay, this is the archer. She wasn't the archer, the other character was, and then she now cost like $10,000, so I'm like, I can't fucking get her. Whatever. Yeah, again, I'm really sorry about the lack of footage, but the game just has like a ton of like really basic problems. Like I said, there's the one save point, there's the one heal point. Walking down that same hallway over and over. You have to click each time you want to buy an item. You can buy them in quantities of 1. Oh, and your party is limited to 3 characters in combat. That felt bad. That felt really bad, because I'm like, I spent a ton of money and now I have 4 companions. It's like, oh, you can only use 3 at once. And I'm like, that's fucking gay. You know, because like it costs like a ton of money. Like it takes a while to grind that much. And I even spent some time grinding and it still felt like a fairly like difficult game. Because otherwise, like if this was a more popular game, I would have like looked up a guide or something and like, who are the only companions that matter? Oh, these other 2 are kind of mediocre. Great, I won't waste any fucking money on them. You don't get any abilities out of those first 4 slots, so it's pretty bare bones, and you unlock all 4 abilities like pretty early. I think it goes around, I don't know, level 8 or something, which didn't take long to get to, and I already like had all 4 abilities for all my characters unlocked. Because if you purchase a character, they match what level like you're at. So if you buy a guy when you're level 10, they're going to be level 10, which is good. I did like that. That was a good aspect. But it just means like they already have their abilities unlocked. When you're like clicking on ghosts on like these levels, because you're going around, you're fighting, you find little chests, you click on ghosts, they give dialogue. If you die, like I did many times, then you obviously have to go all the way back to your last save, so then you have to click through all this dialogue again. It's very slow. It's super slow dialogue. There's no way to speed it up, and you just have to wait for it. And that also kind of killed it for me. No run button. Again, there's no run button. I should have some footage of the cave itself, and while it doesn't seem super long, imagine you're at like the final level, right? You're at the final fucking level, and you have to go heal. You have to walk all the way from there, all the way down to get to that save heal point. And then you have to walk all the way back up just to be where you are, instead of just putting a portal from like your current level back to exactly that save point, or just letting you unlock a new health point every time you like clear a level. That would have been great. Yeah, I realized I wasn't very far into this game at all. I doubt I was even like a fourth of the way in, but I just stopped caring. Also, this was not me, but somebody complained about the game on Steam, and the developer seemed to just kind of bitch at them and say that they didn't really get it, and that's never okay. I know that it sucks that this person who played it didn't like it, but you as a developer or as a writer or as a musician or an artist, you can't do that. You cannot bitch out your customers. You just can't. Like, of course, you're passionate about your indie project and you want people to love it, but you gotta deal with criticism. The idea that like, oh, I'm only creating this for me, so I don't really care about bad reviews, but then they like shadow ban people or like shit talk people that criticize their stuff. It's like, okay, but you did make it public, and I'm sure you wouldn't bitch if a bunch of people bought your game and gave it 5-star reviews. I'm sure that criticism would have been totally fine with you, right? So yeah, I didn't really like that the developer did that. Would I be willing to try out more from this guy or this developer? It's like, maybe, right? Like maybe at some point in the future, I think you could pull off kind of a bare bones RPG. I think that because it is so bare bones, it would be better if it was a shorter game, simply because like there's not much going for it gameplay wise, right? So maybe that would have been better. I think their reach exceeded their grasp here, and I can see this like larger project that they had in mind, but even just a couple hours in, it was just too frustrated to keep going. I'm very sorry about the lack of footage. I'm also sorry they don't really have a recommendation of a game from our guys, which I was kind of looking forward to with Omni Blade. It didn't have. I do think there are other games currently in development. I think it's like Free Guy or The Last Guy. I think that might be coming out soon-ish, maybe a few months. I definitely want to play that, give that a review, because that's also from like this side things. And I definitely still want to try out more games. Probably notice, unless you're just listening to this audio-wise, but I have some footage of Sons of the Forest in the background because that is footage I could record. There you go. They did a huge update long time ago before I stopped playing, after I stopped playing, like February. They said the world might change a bit, and I don't know if mine did, but I wanted to see. I went into the game. It seemed like my mega base was fine, which I wasted way too much time building. Some of the trees I had cut down have now been brought back. It seems like it takes longer to reset traps. That's super fun. That is extremely fun. You made the game more tedious. That's great. There's raccoons now, which is cool. I killed one of those, but I just walked around for a few minutes, and I had no desire to beat it again. I'm just tired. I burned myself out on it. I put in like 160 hours. If you want Sons of the Forest video, which isn't very good, but there's some jokes in there, I do have that, but I will not be playing Sons of the Forest anymore. I'm finished. I'm finished. I do want to open it up that I will consider any video game recommendations that people have. That doesn't mean I'll play it. I would prefer like shorter games because that's just kind of best for my schedule right now. Just in between like reading and work and this other bigger project I'm working on right now, it's just eating up like all of my time. So it's like, here's this 80-hour game. It's like, I'm never going to beat that. I'm never going to get that done. I have started a new game already that I'm kind of excited for. I only played it for like 30 minutes. I just did the intro for it. But this is the original Deus Ex. I'm playing it without any mods or anything. I only did the intro for it. It kind of seems fucking cool. It's definitely old. I might find it to be too old, but so far I found it like doable, like it's workable for me. I know it is like kind of ancient, but it's kind of cool. The intro is just like, here's how to interact with the world, here's how to unlock doors, here's a gun, that type of thing. But it seems like there's a really interesting world here, and I know like this is a game that gets really hyped up by people. I think it might live up to the hype, but like your guy, I think he's like part cybernetic or whatever, and we're like in a dystopian world. You got like flashlight eyes. Your name's like JC Denton. I think we served the UN. They said something about like American terrorists who think they're fighting the second American Revolution. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. In the last part of the mission, there was like this robot that's from like Terminator 2. It almost looked exactly like the like little T-Rex robots from Terminator 2. It looked like one of those. They're like, clear this level however you can. So I'm like, okay. So I got like a box of TNT and I threw it right at it and it blew up. And I did not die, but both of my legs went to 0%. And I could no longer jump, and it was like I was permanently crouched. I didn't realize it first. I thought, like, what the fuck happened? Am I just stuck in crouch? No, I blew my legs up, but it was fine. I dragged myself across the finish line to beat the mission. There's, like, stealth. There's guns. There's hacking. It looks cool. It looks kind of fucking cool. And, like, there's this weird tech lady, and I think we're the new tech. Like, we're the new models, and, like, this old stealth robot lady is part of the old tech. I think her name was Navir or whatever. I looked online and it seems like it'll take like 25 hours to play. So I don't know. That'll probably take me a few weeks, maybe a month, just with kind of how things are right now. But yeah, I think I'll probably give that a shot. So in terms of like new videos, there's not going to be Troth for a little bit. There's probably not going to be any video game content for a while. I might have like a movie review or something in between now and the next video. It just kind of depends. Sorry, Omni Blade wasn't a recommendation, but I also didn't want to like butter it up and say like, hey, support our guys. It doesn't matter if it's like a really mediocre game. It hurts like consumers, it hurts the developer, because no one's really winning in that situation, right? But you can check it out for free. I would really recommend playing it for less than 2 hours to get a refund if that's what you want to do, if you want to try. I'd really recommend that. If you have played Deus Ex, let me know, like, is it good? Is it worth it? Or is it just kind of like too old and maybe I shouldn't bother? But I'm liking it so far. Like, it definitely like grabbed my attention. All right, that's going to be it from me. Thanks for watching. White Pill Media out.